Abusuya mobia kwa bed ba akoroma TV GH so yaw amo mesan animidin. Yembohwi na yenkopie onmunyamfo Paul Adom ochre ni show so. Ena to say what the analysis chenche pa. E de ababeto Ghana monten so a. Yekunchiri bia gu apawa so a. Yepese atiefo ne ahwefo so enya bi etiesa asempani se bia buru se bia soprako na wo yedi ni himti no yenkyerem kakra bi. Ayam pempi no nkrofo bebre na ne nam a titru ni NDC fo no mo keka se enam se MPP fo akwakoyi onmuyafo Dr. Bawumia se won to franka ema omunti no ende Mahama be fa ne ku chop esan se omususu se onmuyafo Dr. Bawumia wo ni mu ha na we ena Paul Adom ochire ede analysis chenchirenche ede ababeto Ghana monte so se nyame ya adom na adom bi dum ye na 2024 January elections no records and I ever compare. Brother Udmunyafo JG Mahama, why vice president? No, near more ya no, you better compare Udmunyafo Dr. Bawumia dear. Now, if you swear, Mahama so, obey a president, and now you compare a year Udmunyafo and a good father dear. Now, Abusia, what the analysis no egu na a camia say, and this for Omuaya. I support you. Abusia, me person me sound very able to because you now you put in someone Paul Adom ochre what the egu Ghana mountain so.
Who do you trust, Muhammadu Bawumia or John Mahama on governance, economic recovery? Why do we say economic recovery? Ghana needs to recover in economics, and almost every country in the world is going through economic recovery. So you must have people that you can trust that when it's economic recovery, they know how to do it. They've done it before. We've seen them take an economy from somewhere and take it somewhere. We've seen it before. Or you can say that, oh, these people are very good with economic recovery, because for these two candidates, they both have a record. Everyone on the ballot has a record. Dr. Bawumia has a record. John Mahama has a record. So if you take Dr. Bawumia's record as vice president, John Mahama has a record as vice president, you can have a record as president, you can add Bawumia to Akufo-Addo's record, however you want to do it, and say that, no, I don't want to say Dr. Bawumia doesn't have a presidential record. He has a presidential record. He was with Akufo-Addo. Yes, John Mahama has a presidential record. He was president himself. He was also with Mills. So you can decide to say it how you want to say it. But the question we are asking is, knowing both men and having a bit of data, background on both men, whom do you trust on governance, economic recovery, and ICT development? Why is ICT important? ICT governs the world. Any country that does not have an ICT policy is lost, is dead, is finished. No country is good. The mobile money that you send is ICT policy. The ID card that you have is ICT policy. Go to the airport and you don't need to use your passport. You don't need to fill a form anymore. It's ICT policy. The things you do is ICT policy. The reason why America is where it is and Ghana is where it is, the difference between somebody living in America and somebody living in Ghana is that the person living in America has more ICT facilities about his life. He can call for food to come. He can call for that to come. He can pay on his phone. He doesn't have to have cash. In Ghana, can you walk around without cash and have the cash on a card? Does it work? Can you walk around without cash and have the cash on your phone? Does it work? That's ICT policy. And that's the future of the world. And that's certainly the future of Africa, because Africa needs to leapfrog. So we need an ICT policy. On ICT policy, whom do you trust? Do you trust Dr. Bawumia or do you trust John Dramani Mahama? This pair is the reason why Nana Opoku-Agyeman may be changed. I'm giving this to you viewers tonight. Take it. If ever Nana Opoku-Agyeman is changed as John Mahama's running mate, it will be because of the fright of this pair. The NDC have held a meeting, and they are particularly frightened about this Dr. Educhum and Nana Opoku-Agyeman situation. So we ask the question that on education curricular development, whom do you trust? If Osaya Educhum is the candidate for the MPP running mate, Nana Opoku-Agyeman is the candidate for the NDC, both of them have been ministers for education. That's all Nana Opoku-Agyeman has done in politics anyway. She was vice chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, the first ever female vice chancellor. Congratulations to her. We love her for that. But she was minister for education as well under John Dramani Mahama. And the data of education is there. How many people wrote SSE? How many people passed? How many went through free SHS? How many did this? Who has influenced policy? Who understands education policy? Education is the future of the people who are voting. The people who are voting are looking for education for their children. So this is going to be a very awesome comparison between Nana Opoku-Agyeman and Educhum if Educhum becomes. What are people saying? They are thinking that the NDC should change Nana Opoku-Agyeman. Otherwise, If this argument comes in, Jenna Opoku-Agyeman falls flat at the feet of Educhum. No Ghanaian, they say, I don't know, people are saying, no Ghanaian, they say, will look at Educhum and Jenna Opoku-Agyeman and think that Jenna Opoku-Agyeman is superior to Educhum on education policy. Zero. Even the most core NDC person will admit that on this comparison, Educhum floors Jenna Opoku-Agyeman. I don't know. This is not our view. This is the view of what people are saying. We have not said our view. We'll say our view at some point, okay? But this is not our view. This is the view of people, okay? Now, what is your view? A viewer? Are you a viewer? What is your view? Tell us. Let's shift it on. Yes. In the other event, that Napo is made the running mate, again, he's been Minister for Education for 4 years. Jenna Opoku-Agyeman has been Minister of Education for 4 years. The comparison is going to come again. Who do you trust on education policy and curricular development? Napo is here. He has a record of education, 17 to 21. Jenna Opoku-Agyeman has a record, 13 to 17. Who do you trust on education? Is education important to Ghanaians at all? I believe the answer is yes. It's always important to everyone, especially these days. Now, if you're going to hand over the reins of a government, of government to a group of people, you have to check what their education strength is. Maybe John Mahama can be president and can have a fantastic education minister. We don't know. But for the purpose of the election, we are looking at record. Because this election is going to be about record. Nobody is coming in afresh. Nobody is coming in anew. Nobody is coming in without experience. Nobody is coming in without having been there before. They've all been there before. And they are competing against each other again. So Napo has a record for education. Jenna Opoku-Agyeman has a record for education. We're going to pull up that record. I think this coverage is very simple for media. If we want to do our work the way we have to, it's very simple. It's record versus record, record versus record, record versus record. I remember ahead of 2020 elections, I interviewed President Akufo-Addo in the studio when we opened the studio. And he said that the election is a simple matter. I have been president for 4 years. John Mahama has been president for 4 years. It's a straight comparison of record. His record, my record. It's as simple as that. It didn't surprise me then that in areas like Central Region, where the NDC won the parliament, the people gave the presidency to Akufo-Addo. Because comparing the record of Akufo-Addo 4 years, the record of John Mahama, the Ghanaian people felt that Akufo-Addo's record was better. Even though they were unhappy with certain things, COVID has come, there was difficulty, parliamentary elections had gone the other way, but Akufo-Addo still stood tall and won a straight first round over John Mahama because I believe the Ghanaian people had him as the honest person. He came and said, I have nothing to hide. Look at my record. Take John Mahama's record. John Mahama was able to do something with these Okada issues, which were not part of his record, but he raised it. And we believe that he got some votes out of that, which is okay. But Akufo-Addo said, it's my record. Now, if 2020 was about record, 2024 is going to be about record times 2 or record squared. It's going to be record versus record. So here it is. Jenna Opoku-Agyeman, what is her record at education? Why is she having a claim to the running mate? If she becomes the running mate, why must she have a claim to the vice presidency? What is the record? Ghanaians had ever given her the opportunity. She did. She became education minister. What happened? Ghanaians have ever given Napo the nod. He's a member of parliament. He became education minister. Now he's energy minister. What happened? That's what we're going to deal with, isn't it? Okay, let's move on and see whether there are some differences. As a result of that, there's a high call that Kwame Wadako should replace Jenna Opoku-Agyeman, because they don't want the bashing on education to hit the presidential ticket. That's the NDC PR that is thinking now. They don't want the bashing on education to afflict, that's the word I'm looking for, yes. The NDC doesn't want the bashing on education to afflict the presidential ticket. Because if you have Jenna Opoku-Agyeman and John Mahama, education may afflict the NDC ticket if Napo is chosen or Educhum is chosen. It's going to be a big conversation about education. And if the NDC loses the education argument, it's not good for the ballot. Because Ghanaians are concerned about education, so you cannot lose the education argument. You can't. NDC will still have to fight for the education argument. They have to say that free SHS didn't work, the food that they give the people is not good, and the people who are day students, the food they give them is not nice, and sometimes the boarders don't have a place to stay, and the children are at home more months than they are not. So free SHS is not good. They may say that. But that would be a very, very difficult argument to sustain because there are many, many more beautiful free SHS stories, thousands more. In any case, 1.8 million people by the next election have been educated on free SHS. Are you going to tell them that it was wrong? 1.8 million young people of the ages between 14 have gone to school on the taxpayers' money, never heard of in any African country. Never ever heard of. And it's every school. The best schools in Ghana, you go there for free. Wesley Girls, you go there free. Achimota, you go there free. Presec, you go there free. St. Peter's, you go there free. St. Augustine's, Disadel, Aquinas, Laboni, Prempeh College, you go there for free. Never ever heard of it was not possible. That's what everybody said. We all believed it. And the NDC thought it was not possible. So now it's going to be difficult for the NDC to say that, oh, forget about their free SHS. It didn't work. Well, they may say it, but it's up to Ghanaians to make a decision. So it's all going to be about record and record. So they are saying that, okay, look, Jenana is dangerous. Put Iwadako there. Iwadako is from Ashanti. He can talk. Why is the NDC concerned about Ashanti? Because if you look at the Ashanti votes, and some people are telling John Mahama that, look, you should be going to Ashanti even more than Dr. Bawumia. Because you see, Volta region, you may win. They are your people, you may win. But if you don't do well in Ashanti, you can never win the election. Because even the 25% votes that you get in Ashanti for 2020 is higher than the total number of votes in terms of raw scores, as they say, or what you get in the Volta region. So NDC wins Volta region by 90%, so they get some figures. But those figures is lesser than what they get in Ashanti. I don't want to go into the figures because I know what I'm saying is correct, and they all know that.
Now, Omaya this year, some say, and now, would we have for Paul, I don't actually what the Eto Ghana mountain so. Meso yaw amwa be nsa me de ne say any this supposed to say we for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia we ni mu enye duru a on be fa ne fala and de mo nye campaign say ni mu nye duru e ma mo nye campaign na ye hwe say 2024 general elections no on betimi adi nkunimu a abusu analysis nchirinchi e na we for Paul adom ochire what the agu Ghana mountain eso ma ye hu adwenkyere e wo eye comment section no ase isan say wo so wo contribution hu hia pa Abusi akroma TV GH so eni yaw amwa minsa ene medin makramo